It's a time shift, baby. We go 3 years into the future to catch up with the Sebastian High School alumni class. Run away with me because the Politician After Show on AfterBuzz TV starts right now.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz...
How is everyone doing out there on the internet? Streaming live or listening on the podcast device if you're choosing. It's the Politician After Show on Netflix, the Netflix original. This is AfterBuzz TV. My name is Flobo Boyce. Thank you so much for keeping me in your life in second screens. We're talking about episode 8, Vienna, the last episode of the first season of The Politician. Before we do all that, let's introduce our panel. All the way to the left, she's an attorney at law and a writer of women's literature. Give it Miss Fern Ronay.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing, Fern?
I'm great. I have an itsadamcarr.com pen, and I've never been better.
Given exclusively.
And sitting to the right,
before we started today.
For the person actually dispensing these Adam Carr pens, give it up for Adam Carr.
Some people. Thank you. The pens have dropped today. I want to thank everyone so much. Of course, you can always go to itsadamcarr.com. God bless you. Adam Carr here, hand model from Cleveland. So happy to be back here for the show. This is the season finale for season 1 here of The Politician. Absolutely brilliant season. Of television.
Thoughts about the show, the episode, and the show overall as a unit.
The episode was great because, as we touched on before, episode 7, that penultimate episode. Penultimate? Sorry, penultimate.
No, I'm just saying I was repeating it.
Sorry, I thought you were trying to correct me. I'm like,
no,
God, I said it wrong.
Right.
That is my greatest fear, that I will say something wrong repeatedly on this show and just keep repeating it. That's my nightmare.
The worst fear for me is getting someone's name wrong repeatedly. I've done that before.
Got it. So, what was great is last episode 7, felt like this season finale where all these things happen. And then this episode, which was so important, sets us up for season 2, because at the end of this episode, I was like, no, I want more now. I'm like, you can't do this.
Yeah.
But if they had ended with this episode, I would have not had. Sorry, they did end with this episode. If this had been earlier or had started, excuse me. Let me say this correctly now.
Yeah.
If this had been the first episode of season 2, which is what most television shows would have done, it would not have been as exciting, because we would have seen all this action happen at the end of season 1. Skye goes to jail. Nana's going to go to jail. Peyton's alive. Alice, everybody drops away. And now we're seeing a setup for New York and for future Peyton finally becoming president. But if this is where it had started, we would have gone, whoa, we're here now? There's a time jump. There's all these things.
Yeah.
I need to get into this again. But instead, this primed us to jump into season 2. What a fantastic season finale.
Yeah, the season finale for me, it's pretty cool. Cool season. I love the show now. I'm on board 120%.
Yeah.
I was just there 100%, not 120%. I want to see where these characters are going.
Yeah.
I guess my prediction was wrong. I thought it would be an anthology series, but it looks like it's a continuing story. Fern, thoughts overall of the show and the season?
Love the show. I'm in for all 5 episodes. All 5 seasons. I'll be back doing this after show, hopefully, with you guys. I love this show. I can't wait to see where he goes. But this episode, I thought it was genius. I thought it was genius the way they wrapped up all the storylines pretty much in episode 7. And the thing that keeps a reader writing in a book, or keeps a reader reading in a book, or anything, is if your characters are not okay. And everyone was kind of okay. They didn't get what they wanted at the end of 7. So you'd been like, oh, all right. But now we're like, where... They're keeping me reading, keeping me watching, because they're not okay. We got to see how it's going to go forward. And I loved it. I loved what they did. I do have a lot of problems with...
Oh, snap.
Oh, yes. With the ultimate, the fates of some of the characters.
Sure. Okay, we'll get into that real quick. You guys can watch along in the live chat here. If you leave a question or comment, we'll make sure we're reading on air. And then you can support the show by using the super chat function. It's an S inside of a box. Click that. Let you know what you think. We'll also read those comments on air as well. New York City. I have never seen someone going to NYU look like a failure. Poor Peyton, 3 years later, playing in a club, telling jokes, drinking a lot. Is this the Peyton we want to see? Is this a whole new chapter? What do you guys think about this, seeing Peyton 3 years in the future?
As someone who used to drink like a fish, I can tell you, I picked up right away. I was like, oh, he's really unhappy. He's like it seems like he's, at first you think, oh, he found a way to find peace with himself and move on. And like Georgina had told him before, be sure to find a way to let music still be in your life, because music's so important. River, anytime we've seen flashbacks with River, there's always that same piano piece that's playing overhead. So we know that music, piano, is a huge way that he ties into something that he loves. So when I saw him playing, I was like, oh, he's happy. And then I noticed, too, I was like, oh, he just finished that drink. Oh, he's starting the next one right after he finished that one. To me, there's just little cues. I'm like, oh, he's drunk. Yeah. He's pretty much, and then James says when they bring him back, like, no, he's drunk every night. So then you go, oh, no, he's not doing well. Yeah. He's very hurt. Because I can tell you, just from personal experience, he's trying to escape. He doesn't want to be where he is. Yeah. You want to get out of that situation as soon as you can. So it hurts because we've started with this guy so on top and just, I got to do this, I got to do this, and I got to do this. And I'm going to be president. Maybe you can be part of it. Maybe you're not. Sorry. And now just he doesn't. I don't know. It's Captain Ahab without the ship. He has no purpose. Yeah. So he needs a bolt of lightning again, and he needs a reason to believe in himself again, because he doesn't have that.
And that's the thing that's so great about the show, because here's somebody who is in the city at this piano bar doing the music thing at a really good school. If you're watching the outside, you're like, what's the big deal, bro? Sure. You're living life. But it's not what he wants. And it's almost like we're getting in our own heads, saying, I'm not doing the dream, I'm at this day job, or I'm stuck in traffic. But anyone can look at you and say, hey, you have your health, you're like all vaccinated, or whatever that may be, you should be good.
As George Costanza once said, health isn't good enough. I'm sick of health. Everybody talks about health.
That was pretty on point.
I want things.
That cadence is awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, that was it.
Fern, I thought it was pretty cool. A cool moment having.
Cool. We got it.
That's like George Costanza. Having the moment of saying my two best friends or my two good friends, Infinity and Sky.
Yes.
There was a gap there.
Yes, there was, and that's what I have a problem with. Why isn't Sky in prison? Like, she attempted to murder someone. So did Ricardo. Ricardo's in jail doing Guys and Dolls. God, great for him. God bless him. Yeah. But he's in prison. Why isn't she in prison? They both attempted to murder someone, but from what we can see, from the looks of her house, she probably has a lot of money. Her family has a lot of money. Ricardo doesn't. It's not fair. I'm not A-okay with her being not exactly punished as much as him.
That was interesting, but I also like too that's setting up now that Infinity and Sky are both there watching, that people who were your, nemesis, is that the correct plural? Your nemesi, excuse me. People who were your nemesi could also very well now become your friends, and that these people, because of this high school political game that everybody was playing, this is actually bringing all the characters together who will be behind Peyton for season 2.
Sure, but let me ask you a question, man. If I ever tried threatening to poison with rat poisoning, would you ever come around to be my friend again? Ever?
Even if you were featured in Vanity Fair?
That's the caveat.
Exactly.
That is the
I think the thing that he's rationalizing it with was a bad thing was done to me, but I also wasn't necessarily a good person at the time. He also then looks at it, well, I sat on the Infinity News. Well, I didn't quite was I really running for office to help as many people as possible? Yeah. So I think he views it as that whole expedition, that whole political grand scheme, he just chalks it all up to that. And also, too, I think you have to eventually let go of that stuff. Like what Gwyneth Paltrow said. You can hold on to it as much as you want. Right. But at the end of the day, I guarantee you're going to be the one holding on to it. Other people have let it go.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
No, I was just saying that I didn't. Seeing Sky there didn't bother me, but the fact that she was the one to look at Peyton later and be like, Jesus, what happened to you? It's like, you did this to me.
She didn't do that to him. She did something. She tried to poison him, but she didn't make him give up on his dreams. He did that himself.
I know.
Peyton is a bigger person than me. I would be like, you are not invited. Exactly. I don't care if I was not the greatest person. I didn't deserve to get poisoned.
Right. And not even a good way either. That was like a silent or a painless word. Like, rat poison sucks.
Yeah. I was listening
rat poison's up there, man.
I was listening to a few interviews with Ronnie Jones, who plays Sky, and I get the feeling that it's not all well with them. I don't know. Maybe I was reading into it a little bit, but we might see her continue her underhanded ways maybe in future seasons.
And that's
she might not
drama.
be perfect. She might not be perfectly trustful. trustworthy.
Who is in this world, right?
Who is in the show? No.
Literally, as soon as we have a moment where we go, there's nothing wrong with them. Kind of like what we had with Senator Standish in this.
Yeah.
When they're vetting her, like, is there anything wrong?
Squealing.
Like, I guarantee you there's something.
Yeah. Before we tackle that, before we move on to the next subject, can you tell the world, Adam, how they can listen to this AfterBuzz show and other AfterBuzz shows?
Absolutely. We're getting a little zealous over here, but that shouldn't stop us from telling you thank you so much for listening to us, finding us, liking us. You have made us the ESPN of TV talk, and we are thankful for that. And for us to continue to grow, of course, as a nonprofit, we absolutely need your help. So please make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. Give us a rating on iTunes if you really like us. If you love us, give us 5 stars, please. Always be sure to comment. We love talking with you. We're going to read a comment later today in the show.
Right
so
now.
we will talk to you. And then, of course, thank you for being part of the AfterBuzz TV family with us. I love coming here. It is absolutely awesome doing these shows and getting to talk about them and talking with you guys at the end of the day. So thank you for being a part of it, and we look forward to continuing this wonderful journey.
Very nice. We will read all of your comments, I promise.
Yeah.
All 588.
Here's one, a 5-star review over from the iTunes Wire. The other Captain America writes, all the hosts here are very knowledgeable about the show. Super fans for sure. Thank you so much for leaving a comment telling the world about this podcast.
The other Captain America.
The other Captain
Well
America.
done.
you.
The other Steve Rogers.
There's a ranking
SR,
system.
keep it real.
Let's talk about Leader Standish. The episode kind of like pivots to her, and for a second there you're like, oh wait, is this another like spin-off? Because a whole different city or whatever.
You're like, is this the anthology? Is this the next line of characters?
Right. Are we on board with her at first, or are we kind of like, what is going on? Or is she like draconian? Is she like a present character? Fern, tell me.
I love both of these actresses, so I'm like, if this is the anthology and this is the next season, I love it. I'm here for it. But I mean, I was on board with these 2 strong women, and that she was, she's doing something right. She was never opposed, apparently. So she's trying to do the right thing. I seemed like, all right, I could root for them.
Yeah, she seems like someone that's pretty much
At
locked
first,
in.
yeah.
This felt a little bit when we were hearing her story that she's run unopposed for so long. That stuck out for a reason. And then the fact that she was meeting with the Texas senator who was able to win Texas. I'm blanking on his name right now. But to me, this show is awesome because it's at the forefront of where our politics are. Because Texas is a state which is, they're saying down the line, is definitely going to become purple in the next 10 years.
Absolutely.
It's no longer just this conservative bedrock that they can depend on. Her right away, she reminded me, this had a little bit, it felt like the AOC story.
Okay.
A little bit. Yeah, because AOC, she originally challenged a congressman in New York who had been running unopposed for a very long time.
I didn't think of that. So
Gotcha.
Peyton's the AOC.
Peyton's the
Peyton
AOC.
was, all right, gotcha.
So, sorry, not her, but so that was a little bit of that feeling like, oh, we're talking about Texas, which is very relevant right now, and then we're also talking about AOC, who, again, long shot, came out of nowhere, 29-year-old bartender working, like, no one would think they would have any chance. But if they put their finger on the pulse and they figured out what was going on and they started actually listening to people, and people respond to that, as we see.
Yeah, let's take a step back, though. So the proposition here was that this senator was running for president, or he's like, I'm going to run for president, and I want you to be my vice president running mate. Moment there, I was like, I'll think about it. No, you're thinking about it, you're going to do it.
Right.
So it looked like it was pretty much on rails, and I was like, well, what's the conflict? But it turns out on 2 sides of it, one, she's running unopposed, which we'll talk about with Payton's campaign, but also the way they run their election campaigns, pretty much an automatic. Fern, talk me through this. I'm sure you've seen other people running for office, your friends or network. How does that look like? If you're just sitting there going, oh, we're doing mailers.
Yeah, they were so behind Windows 99.
Yeah. It's like
It's just like Windows 95.
Yeah, is that what she said?
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
As someone who used to play video games on Windows 95, I will tell you, that would be tough.
Is there Windows 99? There was 98. There was an Emmy, and there was a 2000, right? Does 99 exist? I'm sorry. I was out
And then there
the
was
movie.
an XP.
There was an XP. Okay. Sorry, that's
Windows
boring.
XP.
Yeah. But yeah, it was kind of interesting how you have this person successful, plugged in, seen as very good, but it just seems to be very beatable. A lot of cracks in this operation.
And completely took her constituents for granted. Just assumed that it seems like she was just assuming she would be reelected. She hasn't been hasn't been opposed. So there just no reason to update their systems. The most advanced thing in their office is the bathroom pass. So no reason to update. Taking everything for granted. Of course, she'll be reelected. And now that she has the opportunity to possibly be the vice presidential candidate, raises the stakes for her.
Right.
So if this little twerp, the way they see him, ruins that for her and she's not reelected, then that chance the chances of her being the vice presidential candidate are out the window.
And by the way, let's also not forget Bette Midler. Absolutely amazing first scene, which she's trying to get into the meeting with the senator-elect and
Hadassah Gold.
Yeah, Senator Standish. Yeah, she's brilliant. This is why she's Bette Midler. And also then you're watching and you're like, oh, Bette Midler should be working on a Ryan Murphy show because she exactly look at like the First Wives Club, look at Hocus Pocus. She can be absurd, and then she can also, it's her fast wit. It's the way she's able to roll things off so fast. She did a show at the Geffen Playhouse, I'll Eat You Last. It was a limited run where she was playing a former power agent, and she was absolutely brilliant. Like she's she's Bette Midler for a reason. So it's so cool to see her on the show now.
I thought it was kind of interesting. We're getting to the fourth act where Peyton decides to run against the leader Standish. But let's take the step before. It looked like the inciting incident was McAfee's. She went there to work on the campaign. Mm-hmm. Yeah. She was frustrated. She was belittled.
That was my favorite scene with Bette Midler.
Okay. Tell me more about that.
When she's getting her nails done, and then she tells her, "I know exactly what your plan is, and don't come." She dresses her down, whatever the phrase is.
Yeah.
And I thought the writing of that scene was genius. I thought it was perfect. I loved from the moment she's getting her nails done right to the end when she shows her the door with her high black boots. I was like, Bette Midler is the best.
Yeah.
So that was a scene I loved, and a weaker character would have been like, all right, you know what? I'm going to stay. I'm going to get my letter of recommendation from this woman. But McAfee is our hero.
Yeah.
McAfee's become a real hero.
See?
Has always been the hero all along.
Told you, yeah. No, McAfee's in there.
She got the Avengers happening.
Yeah, she...
But before that, they were saying, hey, look, Peyton should run. Peyton's like, nah, I'm good. I got these issues, bro. And he gets some mail. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the letter. Let's talk about this.
That's the other thing I had a problem with. Are we supposed to believe that him and Alice are one true love, or we're supposed to believe that they want something from each other? They still got their eye on the grand prize. She'll be first lady, he'll be president.
I think that's it. I think that there's a planet fractured a bit, and then eventually it's kind of like, wait, I do see an opening, but I have to go away with that.
But it's not because they love each other so much.
What is love, though? Admiration and respect, Fern. If you admire somebody.
Loyalty. Yeah. Loyalty is love, right?
Right?
It's not. Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, no, you go.
I was just I don't like the scene in the cafe when she was like, when he brings up her cheating on James and she's like, oh, loyal. What did she say? Sex has nothing to do with loyalty. And like, these kids have no idea. Like, no, abort this plan. You're not going to be happy.
Yeah.
But I guess they have to learn for themselves.
I think the idea they were also touching upon was that maybe, and this is what I started to wonder too, was maybe they were all worse when they were working for Peyton in the election. Peyton was doing better, but then everyone else around him was actually doing much worse.
Right.
They were doing worse things. They were compromising on their character. They weren't putting themselves first, and they all kind of broke away in the end when they're like, wait, I've been following you this whole time, and you haven't even been staying true to what I've told you to stay true to. So then I thought, oh, well, then maybe he's not supposed to be the politician, but maybe if they're all doing better now, he's doing worse. So is everything the way it's supposed to be? And that's a kind of a question I kept asking myself as I was watching. I'm like, should he be a politician? Would he be bad for the system? Would he be good? If he's supposed to be so great and this is like ordained from a higher power, then shouldn't everybody be doing better? And then I feel like at the end, they answered that question for us. But it was cool working through that and just kind of saying, is he the hero that we really deserve right now?
It's hard to say that he is, having that "go get your girl, bro" moment, what you see so many times in TV shows and movies.
I went to see about a girl.
Yeah, that's just a bad idea. And prop for them sidestepping it at first, because if Alice was like, "Sure, sorry, Thad," because Thad totally sounds like a guy in a movie that'll get dumped. By
Plus he shows up and Thad's bringing her flowers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're screwed. I'm like, he's a taller dude with thick eyebrows. Probably got some of that European money.
Mm-hmm. Looking like young Tom Cruise.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm like, you're not going to be Thad. I'm like, they're going to go on their yacht to, the south of France.
Yeah, and Alice tells him, maybe you could have an affair or something.
It says, maybe we can have an affair. I wrote that down as something really, I thought that was like so funny.
What?
Because I'm like, definitely a rich girl said that.
Yeah,
so.
definitely.
And didn't she make a comment like, you never looked back? I didn't know that was such a big moment in the show. That didn't strike me as like it was
did kind of pay forward. Yeah, you know what? It was a thing where they were playing the role so far. I guess she took a personal offense to it. I feel like that totally set the course in the motion for them to actually break up. But then Peyton wasn't the same guy, having his dream taken away from him not once, but twice. Being, hey, you're president, whatever. No, you're no longer president. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then not poisoned once, but twice.
But twice in the same dang week. Like, what a day.
Catch a break.
Yeah, man. I didn't even know about his grades, Is that any good? But yeah, so the idea that for them is like their relationship was always that complex thing, but there really wasn't any warmth. But the thing is, though, for politicians and their significant others, is it ever about warmth? I can't think of a presidential level candidate when I see them with their wives or husbands or whatever going, oh yeah, there's that romantic like Hallmark movie love you think about. It's usually very like, this is my partner. And
I don't know. Maybe I'm a hopeless romantic, but I think I think Michelle. I think the Obamas. I think the Reagans.
The Obamas.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Reagans supposedly love
Obamas
doing
do
love.
supposedly,
I'll also tell you,
the rumors swirling that.
No, I mean, from what I've read of, who was the editor of Vanity Fair? I read her book, and she said that they did a cover with it.
Well,
they
I corrected
adored
them,
each other. I don't know.
Also heard too. My dad actually met a Secret Service man whose detail was George H. Bush for the first.
Bush 41.
Yeah, Bush 41, and he said they slept in the same room every night. He's like he never strayed. He's like that was a true solid man and a president and a gentleman.
Well, so, man, I stand corrected.
I think it's just
I have no heart and soul. This has been proven.
I think it's only because we hear certain stories and we see certain things, and those are the ones that keep getting repeated and talked about. Yeah. Nobody wants to talk about healthy. Great
that's
marriages.
boring.
Well, yeah,
that's boring. They go, we have the Midwest for that. We don't need that.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to hear what else is going on.
They'll never put a news story of a plane landing safely at an airport because it's a boring story whatsoever. But so the idea now is before we get to that, so Standish has a thing, right? She's married.
Yeah.
But she kind of is in a throuple.
She's in a throuple.
A throuple.
Ryan Murphy redefining how we view relationships.
Polyandry.
That's true. That's true power.
Polyamorous or polyandry in this case.
Yeah.
Husband and a guy friend.
Sure.
Okay, we got surprised by this. When they said squeaky clean, were you thinking this was going to be the scandal? Will it be of a romantic variety, or are you thinking that... I didn't see it coming.
I was shocked.
Of all the relationships and how different it would be.
You knew it was going to happen. But I'm like, in the bedroom somewhere, I'm like, something's about to happen. I'm like,
really?
everything seems normal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, someone's about to enter with like a severed head or something like it's going to be weird.
Webcams, man. Jeez.
Webcams? Oh, sorry.
I thought she was like filming her exploits.
No, I thought they were going to be like killing someone. I didn't know. I thought it was going to be weird.
Wow, scream queens.
AHS, yeah. I mean, something could always happen where it's just like, and then someone dies.
Yeah.
I thought... Nobody? Just me? Sorry.
No, I didn't go there. But
my imagination
so
runs
Fern,
away.
What'd you do?
Anyway.
go there. But that's the other problem I have with this, not to jump ahead, but that this is their thing they have on her. For such sexually fluid kids who are seem to be so open, so non-judgmental, that's the thing that they're going to bring up.
Well, you hit
Still a little hypocritical.
You hit the older people with that. Older people won't understand it. Millennials,
voters.
new generations, they don't care.
Really though?
I think people over 40 are gonna really care.
I would
well,
argue.
If they can't pick a partner, how can they pick what topics they're gonna do as president?
Okay,
they're gonna start. There's some way to spin this negatively.
I would argue because technically marrying two people at once is illegal. That you can rational that a polyamorous relationship is something that's not becoming of a politician because it's against the law. If we change the laws, it's one thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I feel like that's enough to be like, wait a minute.
But she's only married to one of them, but they choose to be in love with a third person.
Someone else, yeah.
Which is legal.
Right. But I feel like if I was pinning someone to the wall, you have to decide then.
I see what you're saying, because what you could argue is just, are they getting their job done? Are they doing everything that they need to?
Right.
But then you could argue people who have been, people have been impeached, people have had things like, were they technically doing their job? Yes. Were they technically lying about something or admitting something and not being totally honest with, like this, another great television show with the president, The West Wing.
Yeah, classic
Josiah Bartlett hides that he has MS. Spoiler. And their big thing is, oh my gosh, their whole thing was, he was still doing everything that he was supposed to do. He was sick. He didn't disclose something like that. So I think that's how they view it, as once you have that breach of trust, then you don't know who that person is.
Yeah. So using that as a backbone, one of the backbones, it's decided to get the gang back together. Phone calls are happening. Sky's in Vassar with all the militant females, she said, or whatever. We got Alice on board, leaving Thad at the altar. Poor Thad.
I love the way she locks them all in the church with a cross.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
By the way, because she tells Peyton at the cafe, this isn't going to be like a scene from The Graduate.
Yes, The Graduate.
And then it is like The Graduate, and it's also like Spider-Man 2, if you remember. Kirsten Dunst. She runs out in her wedding dress to go find Peter at the end.
See, Norman's another Thad. Yeah, another Thad guy.
People running at the end and wedding
Poor
dress.
Thad.
That image of everyone in the dorm. You know, not the roommate was pretty cool, but everyone else was in the dorm being like, and Peyton's like, oh, it's an intervention. Which is like, oh, poor guy. I've been sober for 15 days, you know? He got the word from River. He's all hyped to go. A team is ready to go and help him out.
Yeah.
Is this it? Is this the squad? Are we rolling through that first press conference? Or are you saying, really, I don't quite buy that they will come from all over to help this guy out again after what happened the last time?
I don't know if I buy it, especially, I mean, I want to buy it because now the characters are becoming, you know, they're endearing to me now.
Yeah.
But even Astrid coming in with this news.
Deep throat?
Yeah, deep throat.
Yeah.
That she's part of a throuple. Well, wasn't there a time when you, River, and Peyton were all hooking up?
True.
That's what I recall.
Yeah.
She brought that, you know, threw that in his face. So they're a little hypocritical that it makes me be like, come on.
Yeah.
But it makes it interesting, and I can't wait to watch next season.
Yeah. I never thought about Judith Life's sex life until now.
Right, certainly not.
I think they're all gearing up to go. I think this is going to be the Politician season 2. It's going to be the mean streets of New York. It's going to be figuring out Senator Standish how to take her down. Yeah, I think it's going to be about. I think it's the main theme is going to be how Peyton got his groove back.
But Adam, he's a fetus. He's just so young.
Doesn't matter. I think too, it's hearkening to like Mayor Pete right now. You know, who is 38 years old, just 3 years above the age that you have to be. Yeah, I think we need to get over this whole ageist thing because I don't think that being 70 should qualify you to hold office or something. Enough. You know, I feel like the younger you are, the more you're in touch with paying bills, seeing what's actually happening with people every day. If you think about it, it's only for running for public office that being older helps. In what other job situation would a 75-year-old beat out a 38-year-old?
Definitely not basketball.
In any other job situation, right? Any type of management situation, sales, if you were talking to any person, if you were 82 years old and walked in and said, I'm doing this for a long time, I deserve the bigger job, and then someone else who's 38 walks in, this is the only time in politics we go, oh, well, they've been around longer, so clearly they know more. Not necessarily the case. Like, we need to go with quality here, not quantity.
Maybe that's the case, but it looked like the Standish team and Goal were kind of like, kind of dismissive seeing this press conference shot at such an angle.
Fantastic. Yes. No, that's so good. And she couldn't even figure out the TV. That was the point. She's not aware of the trend or what is going on. They're so removed from it that they don't even see, and that's the best thing. That is exactly what you want to do.
Right.
It's like being someone on Survivor. You haven't been making the huge moves, but you've been staying next to the people who are, and then those are the people who tend to go on at the end.
Yeah.
You want people to think that you're weak and you're nothing. Your opponents are never at their weakest is when they believe that you are at your weakest. And that's what you need.
Just a final question about the show overall. So we've seen The Politician 8 episodes. There's twists and turns. It's not really a family show. But would you present this show to someone as an inspiring thing to have them run and be more aware of their surroundings? Or is this show so absurd that it's kind of like its own fantasy? It's kind of its own
think it's just pure entertainment.
Okay.
I love it. Yeah, it's a social commentary on things that are going on in the world. There's themes that I relate to. There's themes that I'm like, I like how they wrap that up. I like how they did this. I love the writing. I love the acting. I love that it's a dark comedy at times, and then sometimes the tone shifts. I love everything about it. I don't know if I'd say it's inspiring, but I tell people to watch because I'm like, it's just so good.
It's just so good, yeah? Pure entertainment value, or just something with a little bit more meat on the bones?
I think this show is one of the reasons Netflix is just killing it all around, because Netflix is smart and sees people like Ryan Murphy, Ian Brennan, Brad Falchuk, and just says, cool, here's the ball, run with it, do whatever you want to do. And not only are they doing it, they're crushing it. So props to Netflix, props to everybody for being a part of the show. I think this show it's not necessarily, it's very entertaining, but it's also it makes us feel better watching it, just talking about certain things. I care about these characters. I care about Peyton. I want to see him win.
Good point. Netflix, you have extra balls, please give me one. I'll have my own show. Guy with a heart of gold, let me know. No,
we'll be his McAfee and James.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll help him with his ball, please.
It's now time for our special segment. It's now time for the most tender moment, where we talk about things that make it go, oh. Fern, what's up?
When River was the bartender and he said there's more honor in defeat than unused potential.
That was mine as well.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
That was mine.
It was,
By the way,
it was a great line.
Such a Superman line.
Yeah,
such a Superman
line, right?
That is exactly what Superman would say.
I guess. Now you mentioned it. I can't unsee it now.
You can't.
I can't unsee it.
And you won't.
And you will not.
And he also said there's no such thing as destiny, just men like you who, when the world needs them, answer the call.
That's Superman.
Again,
straight up.
Superman.
That is, I hear the trumpets.
Does anyone else? I
Superman-ish.
feel like Ryan Murphy wants to write a Superman movie. He just doesn't know it.
That's his audition.
It's very possible.
Yeah.
They should do it.
Yours? Your favorite moment? Tender moment?
Tender moment? Gosh.
There's so many.
My tender moment is also part of my favorite moment of the season. Actually, you know what? No. My tender moment, I'll give you another one right now. James says during the show, he says, you need to get back out there, or it's when he shows them the invitation for Alice's wedding. And Peyton's like, no, I can't do this. And James is like, no. He's like, you don't have the fire anymore. And it's the fire that defines you.
Yeah.
So they're watching this. It's like in Rocky 2 at the beginning, where he's not boxing anymore. He's just trying to get a regular job. And he feels himself just slowly dying every day in this life of mediocrity. That's what we're seeing now with Peyton. Except he's like helping himself along with, like a bottle of Bushmills at the end of the night. But we're seeing this once super person act very normal, and that's very depressing.
This structure
Such a good point.
It's very superhero-y. You can do it.
Yeah. That was a good one. That reminded me that James is turning out to be such a good friend, ultimately. When he got the invitation, he could tell what it was, and he's like, I didn't want you to open this alone.
Yeah.
That was really sweet.
Yeah,
That's a good
They still
friend.
care.
Now that you mention that is a dope friend, because I'd be like, whatever.
Didn't want to sign the NDA, but we'll be there for an invitation opening.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a friend.
It's-
All I'm saying is same amount of effort.
Same. Wow. Now it's the last episode of the season, so let's talk about our favorite scene of the season. Just thoughts about the one that made you go, wow. Adam, what's up?
Okay, so I'm not sure if we're able to pan in just a little closer here with the camera, but I'm going to look right here. So there's a moment that Peyton has, and it's towards the end of episode 8, and it was such a great moment for Ben Platt because it showed what a fantastic actor he is. I'm going to try to recreate this moment, but it's basically when they said, you have to run, she's in a throuple, you can do this, and Peyton, he's just like, I don't know, guys, I just... And then he starts thinking, and then he has this, it's like 10 seconds, but it's a total transformation, and he just goes... I'm running. Like, there's just cool moment. Thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah.
UCLA.
Yeah.
And, but it was such a great moment because it was like I was like, yes! Do it!
Yeah.
Run!
Yeah.
Thank you! That's what I wanted to see.
It's like a sport.
It was right here. That guy, he's read the Michael Caine book on acting because he did not blink. Michael Caine.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. That was impressive. So mine are a little less serious, but Ben Platt makes me laugh, his intensity. So
Yeah.
Can It Nana. When he shows up, that was my
That was awesome.
moment. I saw it I loved it. That same scene was in the promo when I was like, I have to watch this show. This kid is hilarious. And I was
Right.
like, I don't have time for your BS.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to curse on AfterBuzz.
Yeah.
I don't have time for your BS,
Yeah.
whatever he called her. I love it. I love his intensity. I loved when he was like, I hate Ashton. I'm going to kill her. He's just so funny. So those are mine.
Captain Ben Platt, man. I guess mine was a little bit more melodramatic, was having Georgina tell Keaton about Bridget and having him run across the house to jump off the common door.
God.
But that to me was like, it was a perfect character moment, the way he responded to things, the opulence of their house, and the absurdity of being like, goodbye.
Oh,
Bob
that's
Caliban.
such a good one.
That was a Christopher Guest moment. That's what that was.
Oh, yeah.
It was so wonderfully absurd, and also just watching him run and while this quiet narration's going on, and originally I bought this piece, and he's just
like where's
doing
it all
this.
going? Yeah.
Yes, as someone who's a bit of, I'm definitely more of an awkward runner, so that really, because I think it's just the hips are as wide as the shoulders, and I'm built like a caveman, so it's just very much like you see it.
How are cavemen built? I guess like you then, if you just said that.
Cro-Magnon right
We'll
here.
do a full body shot.
Yeah, it's a full body shot.
It's a logic question. A equals A. Moving on, it's now time for our news segment.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Oh, yeah, this one comes from Judge Jared. Ben Platt, Zoe Deutsch, and the politician cast are named Elle's Hollywood Rising. This is pretty cool. So a young cast on this show, and they're doing big things. Ben Platt joins the cast of The Politician and Elle's Hollywood Rising feature in the Women of Hollywood issue, available October 22nd. The 26-year-old actor had this to say about his castmates, quote, Zoe Deutsch is most likely to make people laugh. David Cornsweet is most likely to reference an obscure book or article. He himself, Ben Platt, is most likely to start a group chat, and Lucy is most likely to never participate in said group chat. So more and more of these questions and answers are available in the article from Elle, as reported by Judge Jared, because this cast is Young Rising Season 2, already announced. Filming is happening this week as we speak. Shout out to everyone at The Politician, right?
Can we get like backstage passes to go on like the filming of that season 2? Is that possible?
After Netflix gives me their balls, you can totally give me a pass to see them live.
Netflix, if you're listening, we'll take those passes.
No, absolutely.
They offer them? They give that?
No idea.
Has anyone ever asked?
We're working hard here on the after show.
How do we know if we've never asked?
We're going to find out.
It could very well happen.
ESPN TV Talk. I know this is not quite a prediction, but season 2 is on the horizon. You just got this spitball of what kind of show we're going to see.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
In Peyton's quest to being the next state senator. What do you guys think?
I predict that Peyton and Judith Light are going to just strangle each other like Alexis and what's her name from Dynasty?
In the fountain?
In the fountain, yes. It's going to be just... They both want something so bad for different reasons. They both have good reasons for wanting it, and they're just gonna basically kill each other. It's gonna be so much fun to watch.
Think of the collateral damage, though.
Yeah,
People in New York.
It'll be okay.
He's never around here. We'll get over it. Forget about it. Bada boom.
Look at all the carnage and everything that we saw from season 1, just for a high school political campaign.
Absolutely.
Now we're seeing it on a bit more of the state level. We are seeing it on the state level. So everything's going to be I just can't wait. It's going to be them going after each other. Bette Midler's going to trade punches with James and McAfee.
Yeah.
It's going to be fantastic. Sky and Astrid are going to get thrown into the mix. This is going to be awesome. Alice is going to be there. I mean, to me, it's like the Avengers have assembled, and now we're finding out, like, okay, cool. Like, maybe we just beat Thanos. Like, who's next? Who's the next big one?
Yeah.
And now we're going to see that play out. And I can't wait. That's going to be...
I'm
genius.
in the same boat. Lifelong New Yorker, Brooklyn born and raised. My dad worked for transit, and no one has a good story about New York Transit Authority. Everyone hates them. But my dad took it in stride. It's kind of like, hey, put food on the table, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Seeing this clash of styles and what the old guard looks like and how it's breathing and having this new uprising kind of thing is interesting. The dynamic you were saying of the ages and classes as well. The fact Peyton is rich and poor at the same time. I want to see if it's actually going to be a Haitian vote instead of just one dude at this high school.
That's great.
There's a lot more play.
That guy's coming back. You know that guy's coming
back, baby.
There's going to be a throwback to the Haitian vote.
I hope they drag out the election like they did the first season, having different things and even voter perspectives on such a big scale. So that'd be kind of fun to watch. But it's almost time for us to get out of here. But before we do, Fern, where can the world find you online?
You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Fern Ronay, RONAY, and my website, fernronay.com.
Thank you so much for being on the panel.
Website, of course, it's adamcarr.com. Funny Guy 1985 on Instagram and Twitter, adamcarr85.
Thank you so much for being on the panel, and those pens are dope. Flobo Boyce, you can follow me on Twitter at Flobo Boyce, on Instagram at Flobito, and of course, Flobito.com. The Politician's over, but stick around because AfterBuzz TV has so much other great content for you to enjoy. But until next time, buzz you later.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.